Good afternoon everyone, welcome to Intelligence Racing League. Here we are at Bahrain, which is loading into the lobby for round number 3 of Division 2 in Season 2 here. We've got a good grid lined up here today as now they've all just been given the words to ready up and they are about to get going, and I'm delighted to say I've moved my setup back downstairs and so I am not going to be lagging, hopefully. If I lag out I will cry. But more on that later. Last week, of course, I wasn't here, and for Australia, I completely disconnected, so I've not had the best start to the season in INL with my commentary, but we're just waiting for Calvin now to put on his allocation for tyres, and we'll get underway very shortly with an 18-minute qualifying session in the dark desert of Bahrain. We've got some people in the chat right now. Welcome in everyone. Hope you're having a nice day. Some people in the chat right now. Sibinho saying, "Sup boss man, that your wagwan." I will never say that again on stream, but Sibinho, the Division 2 organiser, of course, getting involved in the chat, having a nice little bit of banter. We're already seeing Skeletor start taking off the soft tyres and going onto the mediums. We're expecting a medium hard strategy here today, because the tyre wear in this desert heat is so much, it's stifling. As we've got a Williams coming out first, and that is J Luke 11. You can see I've actually changed my camera settings a little bit, so now that they are completely head on, I believe these are Frederick Rasmussen's camera settings. Interestingly enough, the Williams car has gone out on a set of soft tyres. We're not going to expect any rain, but it is interesting to see the softs. It's difficult to make a soft to hard strategy work. Mediums is pretty much impossible. You're going to get a puncture, as we'll have to see what he's trying to do here. Maybe he's just testing the waters. We're actually seeing a lot of drivers come out on the soft tyres, so maybe this is the right strategy, as he currently flies through the middle sector right now on his outlap. You can see there's a green helmet on that Williams that doesn't exist in real life, because we actually have proper numbers now, and you can see number 19, of course, Antoine Hubert's number. It's been retired in F2, being represented by J Luke right now. He's just coming down one of the 3 DRS straights, and once he gets underway, we on his lap will follow along with him. I'm just gonna get the standings up on my phone right now, and then I will just quickly run through them. Taking a little bit of a long time to load, so I might actually run through them after he's finished his lap. So flying through the final corner now in that Williams car, a little bit of a wiggle out of the final corner as now he begins his lap, and we'll follow along with him flying down the long straight, using up all the ERS he can, and he's going to want to brake maybe at around the 100-meter board, and he misses his apex slightly. He might have broken a little bit too late there, as he comes through turn number 2 and turn number 3 riding the curbs. It's not really what you want to do. It's a bit of a scruffy couple first corners, but it is something he can recover, catching the curbs on the outside and then clipping the apex to open it up into this S section at the end of the first sector, and it is a 27.8 flat. That is a really satisfying time to look at through the middle sector now on his run up through turn number 8 and up towards turn 9 and 10, the tricky complex of corners if you don't have ABS on. As he comes through here, it does seem like he has got ABS, so he doesn't have to worry about that. Short shifting up into third gear, now opening the DRS for the third and final time on this lap, as towards the end of the second sector. We'll see what he's doing here. I believe that the next car on track on a lap is the Haas car of Jerome, so we'll follow along with him after, as now it's a 104.8. that is his second sector time, the time to beat for the Williams for the rest of the grid, as through the end of his lap up towards the final corner, a nice simple 90-degree right-hander, braking at the 100-meter boards and getting the best exit he can onto the start finish straight. Is now for the final time, the DRS opens, and what is the time to beat? It is a 1 minute 26.2, as Jerome actually on the soft tyre, on the medium tyre, sorry. I will actually just fit There you go, fitted, and Jerome, has he beaten him? Doesn't look like it on this one, and it's a 28.6 as Nuffle was right behind him there as well, and Sabino goes second fastest right now, but no one getting close to the Williams car. Of course, two Red Bulls coming up next of Legende and Callum. So we still got a terrible glitch where I have to scroll through the entire grid. We'll follow on with Callum. He's just finishing up this lap. He goes quickest. What about Legende? He goes only 5th fastest. So Callum dethrones Hardy, who dethroned J Luke. And as we're coming to the end of this run of laps, I'll just quickly run through the championship order. Currently leading the standings right now is Legende in that Red Bull car, and his teammates in second. Both of these drivers picked up a win in Australia and actively, and Callum's getting off to a really good start to this season, because now he finds himself on provisional pole right now in his fight with his teammate. And I've actually just lost, okay, my Discord's just crashed there. Killer Brent currently purple on this lap right now, but he's not pushing, so I don't see why that happens. Vitinho is in 3rd apparently. Well, it says he's in 4th, but that's not true. They've kind of messed that one up there. It says Vitinho's in 4th and J Luke is in 3rd, but they're actually, Vitinho's in front of him. Speaking of J Luke, he's in 4th position in the championship. He's picked up a podium in the first race, and then rounding out the top 5 is one who's not turned up to this race. Good luck, J Luke. I hope you have a clean race for once. Well, I hope he does too. I hope everyone has a clean race, because that would be a shame if they were all to crash or something. Let's see if we can find someone on a lap. Skeletor Star's on a lap right now, as Legende just came across the line there. We didn't quite catch him, but he's followed into second, onto the second row of the grid, behind his teammate on track. But of course there's a car of the Alpha Tauri behind Callum and ahead of Legende. Will follow along with Skeletor Stars. He comes to the end of his lap. Don't believe he's had the best start to the season at this current moment in time, as now to cross the line Vitinho is already retired, and Skeletor Stars is a 25.9. that is enough for 4th position. And everyone seems to be finishing out their laps right now. We've got one driver on an out lap of Calvin. Jerome on a lap right now. He's 5/10 up on this run, and he's gone purple 1.1 seconds quicker on this time here. I believe him and Nuffle being so close together really did hamper him, and well, through the end of this lap we'll see him fly, because to open the DRS at this moment now, to cross the line, what can he do? Only 10th fastest, 9/10 quicker, so he actually lost a couple of tenths in that final sector. What about Kieran? Oh, he is pushing on this one apparently, but he's a lot slower through the first sector. I don't know what he's done to mess that one up so badly. We won't follow along with him. We'll try and find someone on our lap. I don't think I guess we could just keep following along with Kieran as he's coming to the end of his second sector. It might be a glitch on my behalf, but it definitely doesn't look like it. No, he's way down on this lap. I don't know why he hasn't turned the ERS down. Might just be trying to get back to the pits as soon as possible. As Calvin in the McLaren, he's one of the reserves for Division 2, one of 4. As he begins his lap, he hasn't put in a lap yet, neither has Stumpy, and Vitinho has retired on this one. That could hurt him in his championship hunt, because he's got 2 consecutive podiums in the last 2 races. There's yellow flags at the end of sector 3. I don't know who that's for. It might be for one of the Williams of either Kieran or J Luke, but Calvin begins his lap. The fastest time currently is set by Callum with a 1:25.5, and look at the gap between the top 3. That is hardly anything. You can see it's plus 4 hundredths between them. So crazy. Calvin's gone purple here. This game does have a lot of glitches regarding that though, so don't take that as face value, because it could be, for all we know, the last place time, but we won't hold it to that, because we haven't even seen his second or third sectors. Now he begins this run up towards the long left-hander, and then which switches into the flat out right hander. Really easy to lose the car at that point on the track if you touch the inside curb. Luckily he avoids it here, and now to cross into the third sector. It's 104.6. that is about where J-Luke is maybe, so it doesn't seem to be purple, but he could gain it all back in this final sector. It could actually be a bit quicker than J-Luke. It's definitely a strong top 5 time from the McLaren driver, and he hasn't made any mistakes on this run. On the up to the line, and it's 4th position with a 125.9. He can't get close to the top 3, but he moves ahead of Skeletor Star, who hasn't got any positions. He hasn't got any finishes actually. Neither driver has finished a race between Calvin and oh, Callum's retired. If I can find that on board with Nuffle. He's crashed on exit of turn number 10. Oh dear. So we've lost our provisional pole sitter, and as the track evolves, more rubber gets laid down. I do not think that he'll be on pole by the end of this. We still have 8 minutes for drivers to set laps and improve, and for Hardy and Legende, they hardly have to get quicker. So this has really put Callum on the back foot for this race so far, as I'll try and find someone on a lap. Nuffle's just begun a lap, but he's actually in the 3rd sector. What am I talking about? Just begun a lap, as now on the run up to the line. He's also trying to put on a medium set of tyres. He crossed the line in 8th position. That's the fastest medium runner so far. So well done to the Renault car. 2nd position in the Division 2 Sprint Series, as TBD just starts his lap there. As let's find maybe Legende. Oh, Legende could be on a lap. He's just started it here, and he's getting a little bit of a tow from Nuffle BC, the Renault car. That is really gonna help him there, but Nuffle's gonna want to do his best to get out of the way as soon as possible. And look at that, he pulls off to the side, gave an epic tow to Legende down the straight, and now he's 1.5 tenths up on this lap. This was easily enough for pole position provisionally. So Legende on a good run here up towards turn 9 and turn 10. Tricky complex of corners as he uses all of the track there. Storm has left the session. Storm is in 11th position right now, so he's not having the best start, but hopefully he can get back in whilst he still can. I believe that you're not supposed to rejoin if you leave during the race, as Legende 3 tenths up. Wow, this is going to be a really great lap from Legende. We could maybe see him attempt to get into the 1:24s by the end of the session. I'm not counting on it, but it could be a possibility. Through but Legende going to improve with a 25.3. That jumps ahead of Callum. TBD also putting a lap there. He goes 4th fastest. So the McLaren drivers both doing very well at the moment, and with their position in the championship, they're in 4th position, not too high up the order. Of course, neither of their drivers are here today. They're both being taken up by reserves. It is interesting. TBD and Calvin. TBD's having a really good run in the championship actually. He's 10th right now as a reserve driver. He ended up getting 6 points in the last race. That would be 7th position. Good run from him so far. Skeletor Star has just finished his lap. He goes into 5th place, jumps ahead of J-Luke Sabino, our Division 2 Sprint Cup winner. He hasn't had the best start to the season. He's currently running down in 17th. He hasn't finished the race so far, but right now 8th position in this qualifying session, so it's not over this season for him yet. We still have 19 races in this season. We're only on round number 3. So 17 races to get back in the championship hunt against the Red Bull cars. Do apologise. I'm a little bit tired. I stayed up quite late last night. Kieran right now in 11th position. He's 8 tenths up through here. This is going to be a nice time from him. Could see him jump up multiple positions. Maybe if he nails the final sector, he could get in the 1:25s and jump ahead of some other drivers up towards the final corner here. Kieran, I don't know why I said meh, but Kieran on the run up to the line, opening the DRS. He's got tons of ERS left, and now he crossed the line. It's a 1:26.1, 8th position for Kieran there. He jumps ahead of Sabino, as who is on a good lap and is close to finishing. J-Luke just improved on that time there. He doesn't jump anyone. In 6th position there for him. And no, he's actually, no way, he's pushing this time. Okay, I was a bit confused. He got plenty of DRS, he's just started on this one. We'll come back to him when his lap is finished. Let's have a look at Jerome, who's finally fitted on the soft tyres, so we are pretty much guaranteed an improvement from the Haas driver here in the run-up to the final bit of the second sector, up towards the flat-out right-hander, and he's not pushing on this one, so he must have lost the car somewhere in the second sector, because he was pushing when I came along board with him. And oh dear, that is a horrible engine noise that no one wants to see. And I think it, oh wait, no, we weren't supposed to be looking at Kieran, we're supposed to be looking at the other Williams of J. Luke, currently on his lap through turn number 13, 12 or 13, as always. It says he's purple, but it's not enough to go pole, so he could maybe be on a he could be on a really good lap if he nails the final sector. He's on a 25.7 now. We'll see how he improves on this run towards the start-finish line to finish his lap. He goes second fastest. He finds 2/10 in the final sector, jumps ahead of Callum and Hardy, but he can't get past Legende. Legende is like a wall that you cannot get by. He's currently 2/10 clear of anyone at the moment. So really strong performance from the Dane right now, as we've got everyone probably going to come out the pits very shortly. There we go, I fixed it. Storm on a lap right now. Oh, he's 5/10 up through the first sector. What about through the second sector? He's 1.2 seconds up on this time. Granted, that won't see him too far up the grid. He's only on for a 26.4 at the moment, but he might have a absolutely sensational final sector. Currently running in 16th position. Kieran retires in the pit lane. He doesn't think he can do better on that lap. He is going to be only 8th for the time being, but now Storm to cross the line. He goes 8th fastest with a 1.6 second improvement. 8th place, he jumps ahead of Kieran, who has retired from this one, and everyone coming out for their out laps now. Stumpy on a lap right now. He's trying to make the mediums work. He wants to get as high up on the grid on the medium tyres and run a medium to hard strategy, presumably. Well, what's his time looking like right now? He hasn't actually put in a time right now, but it's not looking too good from him. A 105.3 through the second sector there. Well, first and second sector, but can he maybe find a really good bit amount of time through the second sector? Granted, he is on the mediums right now, so it's not going to be sensational, and he won't be challenging for the top position, but he could get high up the grid, and unfortunately for him, he is only 100ths of a second off of improving on a position. He stays 14th, and that has to be his last lap unless he can get around to do another one on the mediums, but I wouldn't expect him to do so, as yeah, everyone's just finishing up their out laps. You can see most of the drivers have all kind of concertinaed into the second sector around that DRS straight, just underneath the 2 you can see on the mini-map on the right hand side of your screen. We just have 1 minute to go in this session. Skeletor Star started out on that run right now, his final lap. On his final lap now through turn 1 and turn number 2, it looked nice and tidy from the Alfa Romeo driver to now open the DRS up towards turn number 4, and we'll see very soon what his improvement will be. Nice line through there. I think he pretty much nailed that. And is he improving? He is improving, not by that much, but it is an improvement nonetheless, and that could be the difference between first and well, just a position. Currently in 6th right now. J. Luke retires in the pit lane. He doesn't think he can do another lap. Well, he was definitely not going to get into another lap. You can see everyone in the pits right now, they will not be getting another lap done. I think Legende might already have this wrapped up, unless TBD or Calvin could do something, or indeed Skeletor Star, if he can find a nice avenue on this lap to move further up the grid, as now towards the end of the second sector. What is his time right now? He's improving by almost 2/10. Stumpy retires in the pit lane. He can only settle for 14th position, as now time has run out. If you're not on a lap right now, you cannot start another one. So Skeletor Star braking a little bit later than I would normally do, but he's actually nailed it through there. He's done a really good job right now. So through the final corner, and now he can't get past a 2/10 improvement there, almost 3/10 for Skeletor Star. That shows that Legende isn't unbeatable. If he can get really close, so can other drivers. As now TBD on his lap right now will actually come back to him, because Legende, the only Red Bull left running in the session, he's not improving on this one. He might not have it in the bag. If anyone else can say anything about that, it's Calvin crosses the line. He can't improve enough to beat Legende. Is Legende through the final corner up towards the line, now shifting up through the gears, 7th, 8th, and now to cross the line. Has he improved? He hasn't improved, so it's all down to TBD. If he wants to get past, he is improving, but not by that much. As now to cross the line, the final lap of the session, can he do it? Yes, he can. He gets on pole position, the McLaren car, the reserve, and it says he's in 7th. There it is. He is in 1st position. He gets by Legende, and Legende, he kind of melted on that last lap. He couldn't do it, and look at the gap between the two. That is a 100th of a second gap. 16 milliseconds separate TBD and Legende. I did say it before that any improvement can be the difference between a position, and that is fact there, as Skeletor Star takes up P3, Calvin in 4th, 5th for J. Luke, Callum in 6th, then Hardy in 7th. He dropped all the way back after he didn't put in another lap. Storm in 8th, 9th for Jerome, Kieran in 10th, Sabino in 11th, 12th for Nuffle, Killer Brent in 13th, 14th for Stumpy, and Fatinho never put in a time. He starts in 15th position. And I can take a breather now. I've got a drink here, so I'm gonna crack it open. Nice little Coke. So, after a crazy qualifying session with thrills and spills throughout the grid, we will see what the race start has in store for us. As we're just waiting for everyone else to adjust their strategies and then fit on the amount of fuel they've got. If you're starting outside the top 10, you can go on to any tyre you want. It is risky to go on the hard tyres at the beginning, whilst it could pay dividends later on in the Grand Prix when you can switch on to a medium tyre or indeed a soft tyre. It is really going to be a test of someone's attrition through the opening stages of the race, as we'll see in a moment, as the clock has struck 0. So there we go. Look at all the cars, all the pit crew have got out of the grid, and they begin their formation lap. We will see what tyres everyone has. You can see everyone outside the top 10 starting on the medium tyre, and everyone in the top 10 of course has to start on the tyre that they qualified on. So the top 10 all on soft. Sabino is the leading medium runner. He was the Division 2 champion of the Sprint Series that took place on F1 2019. He hasn't really carried that momentum over onto F1 2020, but he's going to want to make an improvement, and his championship rival Nuffle BC also lining up alongside him on the 6th row of the grid. That is going to be interesting to see where those two come out in terms of each other. As I'll just have a look where Nuffle is in the standings. He's down in 13th, so both these drivers haven't had the best of the start to the season, Sabino and BC, even though they were fighting so hard at the beginning. Nice number on that Racing Point car for Sabino. My phone is 7%, I probably shouldn't use it all that much. Oh well. But Fatinho, his championship hunt could be really affected poorly from this start here, because if you do run on the medium tyres early on in the Grand Prix, and then there's an early safety car, that is definitely a worry, because you're not going to be able to pit and use the tyres as effectively. Championship rivals last season, P10 and P11, time changed on. What are you doing texting on the chat whilst we're on the formation? Good luck in the race today, as TBD, his AI is taken over, and McLaren with a really good grid lineup here. McLaren have had a really good grid lineup They're starting first and fourth. Legende and Skeletor Star splitting those two. As J-Luke was disqualified on the formation lap. That's why he's in front of everyone coming onto the grid now. But we are about to get underway. 29 laps of the Bahrain Grand Prix here in beautiful Sakir. One of the only nighttime races on the F1 calendar. Good luck to all our drivers. We're just waiting for the lights to come on now. See if we can get a better camera angle once the lights come on. As now, here we are. It's 5 red lights. And we are go for the round 3 of Division 2. Who has got the better start? As now Calvin and J-Luke go side by side up towards turn number 1. It's been a great start from the leader of TBD, and now there's Calvin trying to go up the inside. J-Luke goes into second position. Legende drops all the way down into 4th position, as now Callum's been spun around. That's the man in 2nd position, and so is Brent. Brent's also having a really good championship fight this season. As now 3 wide up ahead for between Kieran, and they're blocking the fight. The stupid pit strategy, as now there's chaos going throughout the grid. Sabino has had a brilliant start to this race. He lines up in 8th position right now as we come towards the end of the second sector. The end of the first sector. We got more drivers moving around the positions. Stumpy makes up 2 in 1 there on turn number 8 on Vitinho and Nuffle BC, and it's been a really good getaway from TBD. As now Calvin gets overtaken by Legende, but he's got the inside line coming up to the next corner, turn number 11, as now he tries to hold it, but Legende brakes later. He was braver on the car, as now someone else has gone. That might be Jerome. It is Jerome. He's been spun around on this one, as Vitinho might have been involved in an incident there, because now he's also fighting with Nuffle BC. As Jerome almost hit Brent and Callum there at the end when he's lost the car there. Apparently it's a 2-stop race. Don't quite know why you would do that, as now we begin lap number 2. The grid does kind of shake about for some reason on this game. It is very glitchy, but Calvin's going to go up the inside into turn number 1 of Legende. Legende holds him, and Calvin almost losing the car, and he's actually lost out to Skeletor Star there. So bad luck from Calvin at the moment, as TVD apparently has lost out to J-Luke. I didn't catch that. J-Luke has lost the lead to, he's got in front of TBD there, as now the timing screen begins to glitch out at the end of the first sector. This always happens for every stream that I do. It is really annoying, as Storm and Calvin's gone around, and his bad luck in this season continues. No finishes so far for the reserve driver, and apparently don't know why that would say that DRS is enabled. We're not on lap number 3, we are on lap number 2 at the moment, as we're watching on board with Legende trying to catch up to TBD. We do not need to see the pit stop strategy. Come on, man. It's not even a 2-stop race. As Legende, he's gone purple through a second sector. He's really controlling the pace after his bad start. He started in 2nd position, and now he's trying to retake the position, as he backs off there, coming to the final corner. Maybe if he can get a good run out of here and onto the start-finish straight, he can get by the McLaren car. He's using up his overtake. He's not got much of it left, but he might as well use all of it now, because he's got hardly anything in that Red Bull car. Is he going to brake later and go up the inside? He definitely does brake later, and he's got the right hand side of the track to go down the inside of TBD, and it does not pay off, and that's going to help J-Luke get off further and further away from these guys. But now with the DRS, can he maybe send it into turn number 4? He could have a look there, and he doesn't make the most of it, so he hangs behind TBD for the time being. Might want to save up some ERS, as J-Luke's also used quite a lot. TBD has used hardly anything. He's got 80% left roughly, as here comes Legende once again. He is really putting on the pressure to DBD. He's got to be careful, because if he wants to get by, he wants to do it as quick as possible, as more back in the field. Sabino into 6th position. He's got by Hardy, who was in the fight for pole position for a long time before he couldn't put in a final lap, so he's got vengeance to be sought in this race, but he's lost the position to the medium runner of Sabino. And we've got another predicted. I might as well just turn this off, because it's absolutely useless. No one wants to do a 2-stop race. Who would do a soft to medium to hard? You would never do that in a race. It is ridiculous that they can't get it accurate at all. because it's so annoying, as now Hardy moves past Sabino up towards the final corner with some overtake, and Sabino has hardly anything here if Hardy just uses a little bit more of his, but now opening it up onto the start-finish straight. Now I'm watching the gaps further up ahead, but no, Sabino is going to go up the inside, coming towards turn number 1 there, the racing point, and the AlphaTauri exchanging some blows, as now Nuffle BC, after his poor start, gets by Stumpy. He's moving up the order. He's got Mech here in his sights further up the order. On track is now Hardy trying to come back at Sabino here. This is a really great battle between these two. He's going to try and hang him around the outside. Will they go side by side into the S's section here? That is a very risky thing to do. Sabino maybe goes a little bit deep there, but now Hardy still trying to fight him. Is he going to go up the inside? You bet he will, because there goes Hardy trying to get by Sabino. Sabino can't defend there. And now these two both using up a lot of ERS. Will Sabino maybe send it into turn number 10? It would be pretty crazy if he did, but this is bringing Kieran into the fight, as now they've dropped out of the DRS of Storm, and Hardy's getting away. Oh, Sabino's got nothing left to catch him, so you might just want to hang back for a couple of laps and maybe try and hold off, as J. Luke starting to feel the pressure from TBD, who's gotten away from Legende just a little bit. He's actually got a worse exit down the Williams car, so into the final corner he can't get past, but maybe if he uses the DRS into turn number 1 he can get by here. He's certainly in reach of the Williams car, and this could also tow along Legende too, as now with the DRS he's not using any of his ERS here. Legende has nothing left on the ERS, as now here comes DVD. Will he send up the inside? No, he won't. He's going to hang back here and let J. Luke do all the work. He's not going to spend his tyres up too early, because if you do that you're not going to have anything left towards the end of the race. As now Calvin comes into the pits early. That is a very early pit stop for the McLaren driver, filling in for one of the main drivers. I don't quite remember who they are, as TBD just hanging back on J. Luke. He doesn't want to risk anything at this moment in time, as Legende watches in the background, and Skeletor Star, don't forget, he's there as well. They've really dropped Storm though. Storm has fallen so far back, and Hardy's maybe going to go up the inside here. This was unexpected. Hardy, who was out of DRS range of Storm, as there's contact, and Storm brakes a bit too early, and that's a little bit of front wing chopped off for Hardy. He's definitely going to have to come into the pits now. Savinia's going to take advantage of this and try and get by into the left-hander corner now. Turn 11, he can't get it there, as now Nuffle gets by the Williams car of Kieran, as now there goes Sabino up the inside of Hardy. Hardy with terrible luck there. He didn't expect Storm to brake so early, and now there's been a retirement. It's Calvin out of the race. He's lost it in the second sector, just out of turn number 6. Will we see a safety car for that? Doesn't look like it, as now here comes Nuffle BC. An easy move on Hardy, who's going to have to pit anyways, because he's got nothing left on the left hand side, as now J. Luke also comes in for an early pit stop. A lot of these guys are actually coming in at this moment in time, so the tyres are most likely dead, and that is really going to be a saving grace for Hardy here, because he's got no left end play. As here comes J. Luke into the pit lane. He was leading the Grand Prix, as now he tries to undercut, and he's going to go into the medium tyres. That suggests to me a 2-stop race from the Williams car, as there's been a bit of fighting up ahead. They are really close to each other. TBD now without the luxury of DRS on J. Luke being ahead of him. He leads the race at the moment, yet to pit, of course, but I don't know if J. Luke meant to go on the medium tyres, because everyone else has gone onto the hards. So maybe he might have cocked out for himself, as up towards the DRS straight into turn number 10. You can see that Legende is right on the rear of TBD, and now with the DRS, this is a really short straight, the actual shortest straight on the rate for DRS, but now he's going to hold back. He doesn't want to go by just quite yet, but if you want, realistically, these guys are going to come to the pits this lap, so if you think about it, it's probably smart to actually try and get by if you want to be ahead after the pit stop phase, which is really where you want to make up all your positions, as Skeletor Star has dropped off a little bit here from Legende and TBD, as now into the final corner you'd expect TBD and Legende to both come into the pit lane at the end of this one here. It's there. He cuts across the pit lane entry there, does TBD, and Legende might be a little bit ticked off at that one. TBD made a bit of a late move there. I don't think he should have. I think he should have followed the entry lines. I don't know the rules according to that, as now Nuffle BC, the championship rivals in the sprint series, fighting each other on track right now for P2 at the moment. Of course, yet to pit both of these guys. Legende, the only driver on the softs except for Callum to come into the pit lane, as now Nuffle BC looks to the inside at the end of the DRS straight. He gets by, but now Sabinio holds him around the outside. This is quite a similar story that we saw with Hardy and Sabinio a couple of laps earlier, as now Sabinio holds him now through the S's section, and it's not enough. Nuffle BC moves ahead of Sabinio. He lost the championship in the sprint series, but he's got by on track here in the main long series, and that is the position made for Nuffle BC. Is all Sabinio's looking for a move into turn number 10. That is actually a really good camera angle for the time being, as now he can't get by. He's not got enough ERS to maybe make a move. Of course, this is not really an overtaking opportunity if you're really far back, like it would be maybe earlier on in the race, as TVD finds himself right behind J Luke. They both opted for the medium tyres, which is interesting. Storm is also right behind them too. Skeletor Star really lost out in the pit lane, though, in the pit stop phase, because he's now 2.5 seconds back from TVD at the moment. Of course, the hard tyres aren't going to be as strong as the medium tyres at this moment in time, as now Legende also does come into the pit lane. Hopefully Callum will know that his teammates come in, and he's going to have to stay out one more lap. So he is the last of the soft runners on track right now, and it actually does say that the pit window is open for the two-stop strategy for the soft runners. Taking a quick drink, because I think I would kill my voice if I'm speaking at this speed, as Sabinio and Nuffle BC still battling out. They're locking horns through the first sector up towards the S's. Sabinio cannot get by here. Stumpy is allowing being able to catch up, and now Sabinio has got a 3-second time penalty. That's 3 warnings for going off the track, and I doubt that T would be too happy about that one, as now through the second sector up towards turn number 9 and turn number 10, Sabinio trying to get by on Nuffle BC. Of course, these guys yet to pit in this race, is now with the DRS. Can he get by here? Doesn't look like it. In other news, TVD moves ahead of J Luke in the fight for the provisional race lead. Legende fitted on the hards to go to the end. I think he's going to make the one-stop work. J Luke and TVD are going to have to make another pit stop in this one, as they've caught up to some traffic in the name of Killer Brent. That's not going to help them in relation to the medium runners, who realistically have the best strategy at the moment, because they don't have to worry about the tyres at all this race, as we'll actually follow along with Sabinio as he tries to fight Nuffle BC down the pit straight. There's half a second between these guys, as now he's not using any of his overtake up towards turn number 1. Here we go, on board with the Racing Point car, and he hangs behind on the Renault, so not going to get by, just hanging onto the coattails of that yellow car, as now TVD gets by Killer Brent, and J Luke's going to maybe try and follow through to the inside of the Renault car, and he's maybe going to look for TVD, and that could have been bad if he outbroke himself there and went into the back of the McLaren, as Killer Brent loses 2 positions there. But of course they're not realistically fighting each other, but Killer Brent doesn't see it that way. Killer Brent sees it as an opportunity to go by J Luke, and came close to contact. The ghosting might have helped him there. Legende, who's fitted on the hard tyres, just watching from behind. He's not too fussed at the moment, because he knows that these guys have to come into the pit lane once again later in the race, as now Nuffle BC and Sabinio are still trying to fight for the lead at the moment. Stumpy is being brought into the fight here, so it's not over for him. He can still get some good positions in this one, as Sabinio still follows behind Nuffle BC. I think he just wants to stock up on some ERS. They're both relatively close in the amount of ERS that they both have, about 25% for Nuffle BC and about 20% for Sabinio. But now with a worse off exit, he has to use some of that overtake to keep up with the Renault car, and Stumpy has got plenty to disperse of. He's got 65%. He also did really well. He won 3 races in a row in the Sprint Cup series. As now up towards turn number 1, will Sabinio make a long lunge back He's definitely going to go later on the break. Could have gone into the back of the Renault car there, but he hangs off behind and doesn't make any mistakes there. As now, as I say that, he has a little bit of a slide. So does Nuffle out of turn number 3. Nuffle's just controlling this race. He's keeping at his own pace and just keeping these guys behind. Maybe he wants to push Stumpy into Sabinio here to maybe have them fight it out a little bit. And but TVD and J Luke aren't a million miles behind. So we'll have a look at the gap. It's 10 seconds between Nuffle and TBD at the moment. And both of those guys have some clear air. Well, of course, J Luke doesn't have clear air from TBD, so he's going to be a little bit hampered by that, but it won't affect him too much. And let's have a look at a fight for a position that's not really affecting too much in this race. Currently in 10th position, both of these guys have stopped. Storm was running in 5th position. He was completely dropped by the leaders that were Legende and Killer Brent at the moment, but Killer Brent hasn't pitted yet. He's been on these tyres for 9 laps. As this could be a good fight for the lead. This could be a very tasty fight, because now Sabinio sees his opportunity to get by here. He looks to the inside into turn number 1 and he gets by on Nuffle BC. Is Nuffle maybe going to try and fight this one back? He's maybe going to look for a switchback move and he can't make it stick, but he's got the the DRS for the next run up here into turn number 4. Will he use his ERS? He doesn't look like he is, and Sabinio has got nothing left in the tank and he moves ahead still, so he stays ahead of Nuffle BC and he loses out. Meanwhile, Kieran and Storm, I was commenting on this a little bit earlier, they are both fighting hard in this one. Meanwhile, Skeletor Star trying to get by Killer Brent. He can't do it there. It's now Storm looks to the inside of Kieran up towards turn number 4. An easy move for the Mercedes car, and Kieran is defenseless there. Is he maybe going to try and fight this one back through the SS section up towards turn number 5 and turn number 6, and then turn number 7 covering up shortly as Kieran right up to the gearbox of TTG Storm right now, and Storm runs deep into turn number 8 now, and that's going to allow for Kieran to take advantage of that. And he also has a bit of a slide through the corner trying to make a switchback move, as now through turn number 10, the difficult corner to navigate, here comes Skeletor Star up the inside of Killer Brent there for 7th position, and he gets by, but he's lost so much time to Legende. Killer Brent really has held him up here, as here they go up the up the hill. There's a bit of lag from Kieran there, but he seems to be okay, as this fight is not over between these guys. Nuffle finally does come into the pit lane, and but Sabinio thinks he can do one more lap on this one. Vitinho, who's had a bit of a quiet race, he comes into the pit lane. This unleashes TBD into 2nd position and J Luke into 3rd. There's 9 seconds between Sabinio and TBD at the moment. J Luke has dropped back quite a lot. Look at the ERS that TBD has. He's used none of it. He's on 95% at the moment. J Luke has hardly anything left. TBD, I think he's got the best opportunity to win this race at the moment, but of course yet to make a second pit stop, because he's not making it to the end on those medium tyres. If you're seeing guys like Skeletor Star, not Skeletor Star, Stumpy and Nuffle coming to the pits after 11 laps, it really does spell some worries for them. He might have to come in again and fit the medium tyres, which will give him a bigger pace advantage. Hang on a sec. Sorry everyone. So it will be difficult, and Skeletor's actually lost a position to Killer Brent, so their fight isn't over. Even though Killer Brent is likely going to pit soon, he's really fighting where he shouldn't be doing so, I think. Personally, it's not going to help anyone if you're fighting so hard for a position when you still have to pit. It's a bit like Roman Grosjean in Hungary, when he found himself so far up the grid, and then he ended up holding up a lot of drivers, and no one really won out of that fight, because he still had to pit. As look at that, Killer Brent does come into the pit lane now. He follows the injury lines like you should do, as now unleashes Skeletor Star into some clear air, and Killer Brent's got a 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane, as now Kieran and Storm has lost quite a lot of ground to Kieran at the moment. Kieran has hardly anything left on the ERS, neither does Storm. Both these guys struggling with the ERS at the moment, and Stumpy up the inside on Storm right now. He's got much fresher hard tyres. They're going to come up to temperature very soon, and he'll be able to fight a lot harder. But now, using some of his ERS that he was saving up earlier, he gets by on Storm up towards turn number 1, and now there's a car gone. I think that's Callum off. Callum has reset the track. He's back on there as Stumpy moves up into P7. He has got Kieran in his sights now. He has a long way to Skeletor, so going to be no DRS for the Williams car, as here comes Stumpy, just reeling him in, trying to get by as soon as possible, as more yellow flags through sector 1 and 2. That's for Callum. I assume he's not had a good race, unfortunately, and that's going to hamper him in the championship, especially since his teammate is doing so well up in 4th. Both these guys have a win in this season. The Red Bulls have won 2 races out of 2, and it could be that way for the next one. I really do actually have faith that Sabinio will challenge these guys later on in the Grand Prix, as Sabinio does come into the pit lane here. I will actually have to ask him, how do I pronounce his name? Is it Sabinio or Sabinio? We'll move past that because TBD now unleashed into the Grand Prix. No DRS for him. J-Luke does have DRS, so he can still get back into this fight here, as Legenda's tyres will probably have come up to temperature, so he can fight shortly against these guys, as well as Skeletor Star, who's really lost out the most out of this fight for the position, as there goes Stumpy up the inside of Kieran. Kieran's going to try and fight him back. It's no match for the Ferrari car. He moves up the order once again, and he gets by, and now Callum, our second retirement in the pit lane, as he goes right into the back of him there, and Sabinio right behind these guys. Callum's left the session. That's migrating host for them. Sabinio on his fresh hard tyres, trying to get by on Kieran for 6th position. I'll tell you what, this has been a really great fight from Kieran right now, as Kieran makes a mistake, from Sabinio, I mean, Sabinio gets by. It has been a great fight from him so far. He's done really well. He started in 11th position, and now he's up into 6th, so 5 positions gained, and he's going to make up some more because he's got Stumpy ahead of him. But not for long. Stumpy was actually behind Sabinio in the pit stop phase, but with his 2-lap undercut, he's managed to get by here, and it's been a great strategy from Stumpy to pit earlier and make up a couple positions, especially since the hard tyres are so durable. They can pretty much last almost the entire race. So it's not really going to have any issues later on in the Grand Prix. Here comes Hardy up the inside of Kieran, now for 7th position. Kieran beginning to slip back in the order after he hasn't pitted for the hard tyres. He went onto the mediums, that gave him a little bit of extra pace, and now he thinks that he's on the wrong tyres, so he's going to come into the pit lane and probably fit on a set of hard tyres. We've got just about halfway through this Grand Prix, so we've still got a lot of it left. Storm and Nuffle BC fighting right now. Unfortunately for Nuffle, he's not had the best of the hard runs out there at the moment, because he's now 2 positions behind the guy he was fighting, and he's lost about 2, maybe 3 seconds. 3 seconds between those guys are roughly, as Sabinio fighting. He's caught up to Stumpy massively there, and it says he's been on those tyres for 0 laps, and he goes right into the back of the Ferrari car right there. Hopefully he didn't get any damage there on that Racing Point car, as now through the 2nd sector they fly up towards turn number 10. Big lock up from Stumpy there, shouldn't affect him too badly, and now with the DRS, here comes Sabinio on Stumpy, one of my candidates for driver of the day so far. He's not close enough. It definitely looks closer on that behind shot that we had before, where it basically looked like he was right up the inside. Speaking of going up the inside, Nuffle BC gets by on Sabinio up the on Storm up the inside. I'm so used to saying Sabinio this race. There's now Storm following right behind though, as Vitinho also looking on in the shadows. He's had a really quiet race, but he's not got many points in the bag. Only 10th, that's 1 point going back to the Mercedes team from him. 2 points right now for Storm. So Mercedes, although they do have 2 cars in the points, which is very respectable, no other team actually does have that at the moment. It's not enough to jump anyone in the constructors fight, especially since they are fighting with Red Bull, the championship leaders essentially, as here comes Sabinio once again, looking like he wants to make a move soon. Hardy's being brought into this fray. He's been on these tyres for a lot longer, and now actually Sabinio has been. So maybe he did only pit 1 lap ago. As, where's Nuffle? Nuffle pitted only 1 lap before him, so I don't quite know what that is. And Stumpy's gone off the circuit. He comes back on sheepishly, but he's lost the position, and he's actually got a better run out the corner somehow than Sabinio. So he's held the position there, arguably a little bit unfairly. I mean, he could have conceded since he did make the mistake and then just come right back onto the circuit. Sabinio might not be too happy about that one, but I mean, all's fair, I guess. That is racing, you know, you just have to deal with stuff and get on with it. But this has really brought Hardy into the fight as well. Hardy's right behind these guys. This is probably the most entertaining battle on the circuit right now. Imagine if this was for first position, which it very well could be at the end of the race. They're not too far behind the leaders. They are quite a long ways back from Legend and Skeletor Star, but when J-Luke and TBD have to come into the pits and fit their tyres, they will be right up behind them actually. 19 seconds, so they will, TBD and J-Luke will be right up behind these guys. They are definitely doing a 2-stop strategy. As here comes Sabinio up the inside again on Stumpy. Stumpy does lose a position this time. He tries to make a switchback work, but now he's got Hardy for company, who's had a really bad run out the first corner. He's lost so much time there in comparison to his other fellow drivers in this one. As now, is he going to try and brake late and go up the inside? He had a look there. He did have just a little cheeky glance at the inside of the Racing Point car, as Hardy just watching on from behind. He's lost a lot of time. Hopefully he can get back up to these guys if they keep on fighting, because Sabinio now won't have DRS. That is basically inverted, and now Stumpy's going to be the one with the drag reduction system, for example, on this straight, as now he opens the system now to maybe try and catch up. He gets a worse run out the corner than Sabinio, but that DRS is going to help him be dragged right back into the fray though, as Hardy's got a 3-second time. How's he done that one? Did he go too wide on entry? That is an interesting one there, but nevertheless he's lost that. He's lost 3 seconds from his race time now, and a big lock-up from Stumpy. He's locking up quite a lot in this race actually, and now J-Luke comes into the pit lane. He's going to lose the position to Legende, Skeletor, Sabinio probably, and everyone in between, as we follow along with Stumpy, who's probably going to maybe try and make a move on Sabinio here. It's almost certain, as now with the DRS and using up some of his ERS, he's going to have to go to the outside there of the Racing Point car, and he gets the move done before the corner, but Sabinio is going to try and fight him back there side by side on exit there, and Stumpy has got by on Sabinio, but for how much longer? Sabinio now with the DRS and using up all of the ERS he has. He's got hardly anything left, as now he looks to the outside, but there was no room at the end, as now he's got a little bit of a better exit than Stumpy here, coming up to turn number 5 and turn number 6 and then turn number 7, and he can't get by here. What about turn number 8? Is he going to go down the inside? No, he won't, but he's right up to the rear wing of Stumpy there. So where's Hardy in all of this? Hardy's just watching on. He can't do anything at the moment, as now through turn number 9 and turn number 10, a big lock up from Stumpy there. This could be detrimental for his race, because now with the DRS on Sabinio, he gets a worse exit actually does Sabinio there than Stumpy. So this fight is not over for Stumpy. He keeps a position ahead of Sabinio. That is a great bit of fighting there, and Stumpy comes out on top on that one. As will TBD come into the pit lane here? Yes, he will. So he's led the race since the beginning after he jumped Legende on the line. Actually, he was lost out to J-Luke, but then in the pit stop phase he got ahead. This is going to be interesting to see where they come out in comparison to each other. The thing I'm worried about the most for J-Luke is the traffic he's have to navigate through, but he has been on fresher tyres, and now he's got the DRS as well. That is crucial for the Williams cars. Now with the DRS, he swoops by Knuckle BC for 8th position. Meanwhile, Stumpy and Sabinio fighting. Sabinio tries to go around the outside. We haven't seen him do that one, as TBD does indeed come out ahead of J-Luke, but with the fresher and warmer tyres, sorry, just only warmer, he's right up to the rear. The undercut has brought him slightly into this fight here, so good job from him, as now there goes Hardy on Sabinio now. This is for 3rd position. These guys all started on the medium tyres. Of course, they've got the drivers coming up behind them of J-Luke and TBD. They can disrupt the fight. Hopefully not too much though, but they are right behind them, so I don't expect them to be very long until they're right up behind them. They also do have to navigate Skeletor Star. Let's have a look at their gaps. They are 13 and 14 seconds back from Legende, on his way to his second win of the season out of 3 races. It would be a great record for Red Bull because they have won every single race so far in this championship, and now Hardy trying to put pressure onto Stumpy here, but it can't be done at the moment. Sabinho now has kind of taken the position of what Hardy had earlier on in the Grand Prix, where he was just watching on and then he was waiting for the right opportunities to get by. TBD right up behind here on Sabinho, and now J-Luke also, he's lost a bit of ground, but this is 5 cars all concertinaing into one part of the track, fighting for the final spot on the podium. Is now with the DRS. This is a huge DRS train, and here comes TBD. He's got the best exit out of anyone. He's going to look first to the inside. There's a bit of contact between wheel to wheel now of Sabinho and TBD. Is now, will TBD try and go up the inside of Hardy there? He can't make the move, and Sabinho is trying to go around the outside. He's got the inside line for turn number 2. What a move from Sabinho, but it's not over because now on board with Hardy, he's got it, he's got the move, and there goes TBT. He's been boxed in by the 2 cars. Now he has to brake earlier, and Hardy tries to go up the inside of Sabinho here for 4th position. Stumpy getting away here as there is the position made, and TBD now looking around the outside. Where did J-Luke come from? He takes 6th position. Oh my goodness me, TBD's lost out here. Now there's contact between J-Luke and Hardy. Hardy now right behind them, and now J-Luke loses the position to TBD. Will he try and fight back up the inside of turn number 10? No, he can't, so they somehow stay in the same order, and now Jerome has been spun around there out on the exit of turn number 7, and now they are beginning to separate a little bit, but this is allowing for Legende and Skeletor Star to just run in clear air and run their race nice and calm. They do not have to worry about these guys for the time being, and this also, all this battling is going to wreck the tyres of TBD and J-Luke, so they're going to be frustrated with the 3 fighting on the alternate strategy, especially now because the gaps are quite wide. That was a really eventful lap for them there, as now through the final corner, I do actually have to take a drink because my voice is on the verge of jumping off a cliff, as with the DRS you can see they're all flying down the straight. So many there's so much horsepower between these guys, and now TBD trying to go up the inside of Hardy. They made that move a bit forcefully, but he still gets by on the AlphaTauri car, and the AlphaTauri could lose out to the Williams, as now he's got a much better exit than Hardy there. Now here comes TBD, maybe trying to look up the inside of Sabinho, and he can't get the move there, but it's only a matter of time, and now Jerome retires in the pit lane. Kieran unleashed into 12th position now. We only have 12 runners left in this Grand Prix. Hardy's lost out there to the 2 medium runners in regards to that, and Hardy's actually got hardly anything left on the tyres. He's doing really well fighting with these fresh hard runners who've hardly been on their laps, and of course these fresh medium runners who pitted only a matter of maybe 2 laps ago. So he's done really well, but I think he's going to drop out the fight here because he can't keep up with their fresher rubber, as now Sabinho maybe tries to look up the inside of Stumpy here for 3rd place. TBD though trying to maybe make a move on Sabinho. He's not interested in letting Sabinho and Stumpy fight. He just wants the positions himself, as now, oh my goodness, that is an unorthodox move, and he tried it, and now that has let J-Luke come around the outside on the run up to the final corner. J-Luke gets the position on TBD after he tried an unorthodox overtake through turn number 13, so it hasn't worked out for him there, as now with DRS on Sabinho, this could be the move for J-Luke here that could maybe make his entire race. Is now up the inside into turn number 1. Can he get the move before the... oh dear, Sabinho gonna go around the outside of Stumpy there, and now J-Luke has got the best exit there, and there's contact between J-Luke, has to go off the track front wing to rear wing, as he gets a switch back down the inside with the supreme grippers, now trying to make it around the outside of turn number 12. You can't get the move done there. J-Luke goes way off the track here. My voice really is about to die, but somehow I've not done my signature cough, and they have not gained at all on Legende and Skeletor Star. I do not believe this, but this race has been completely unraveled for them. They can't get close to them because of this fighting that the hard runners have been putting up, which has been so incredible from them. But I think this could be the end of this incredible fight for 3rd position. It's been a great defense from Stumpy, who's just been running his race, as I'm sorry if the internet quality isn't that good, because it says it's not good enough to broadcast the gameplay. Should be okay. Apparently the stream... what's happening with the stream? What's happening with the stream? Are we good? Are we okay? Stream's not gone. Don't lie to me. TDB. I've been calling him TBD all race, but it just flows a lot better. He gets by on Savinio there. Sound isn't going with the screen. That's a shame. I don't quite know what's happening, and like my internet always just dies when I'm streaming INL. Probably because there's 3 streams on at the moment. If you want to watch more divisions, you can go onto the Intelligence Racing League YouTube channel and hit that big red button underneath the title of the video to subscribe. If you want to turn on post notifications, just because it will make me happy. As there are still 5 cars all in one part of the track. Nuffle BC's been brought into this fight as well, just for good measure. There's still 5 laps to go in this Grand Prix, 6 laps actually, so it's far from over for these guys, as TDB right behind on J Luke. Will he get by? We'll never know. It's just me streaming. No, it's not. As J Luke goes around the outside of Stumpy, there's a little bit of contact there, and J Luke loses the position to TDB. There we go. There's the cough, and there goes TDB on Stumpy. Stumpy makes the switchback move up the inside, as now on the run up to turn number 5. Oh, there's contact, and there's been there's more contact there, and that was inevitable with how much these guys were fighting. There was contact between Stumpy and TDB, and that, so unlucky. Wrong place at the wrong time for Savinio there. He's got damage, and look at this through this corner. He's going to run so deep, and that is going to gift the position to Hardy. So unfortunate. He might as well just stay out to the end because he's got a gap, I guess. It's not going to be too... Hardy's also got damage, actually. Wow, I didn't know that. Hardy also does have damage. And here comes Nuffle. Nuffle's going to swoop around the outside of both cars there. And what a move from the Renault driver. Great opportunity spotting, but this race really has unraveled now. And I doubt that we're going to see many more fights in this one, since there's so many guys with damage. Got 9 viewers in the stream. Now at the last call. The hell? Yeah, I don't know why the stream is so laggy. Because I'm at turn number 1 right now, but they're on board with them Mercedes car, who's just coming through. Oh, come on. Brilliant. I don't know what to do now. Yeah, I'll restart it.